Hello, hello, hello. We are at day 3, just like the 3 heads of Ghidorah. Well, before I get started here, I would like to do a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, I would like to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you to the 200 plus people that have decided to subscribe to this channel. It was definitely not my intention for this to be this. This was a way for me to hold myself accountable as I shed some habits. And it's been really fulfilling to see other people take this to heart and to decide to do it for themselves. And with that, I would like to say that if you're on the fence about, doing this, well, what's holding you back? I mean, I'm not here to sell you anything other than just to have the faith in yourself that you can do this. If I can do this, then you can do this too, okay? And if I fail, then I fail, I'm a human being, and that's part of progress, right? Like, you can't master something without failing, right? And fortunately, I feel like I've gone down this road quite a few times to be able to have a good handle on things. But in the past I have definitely struggled not only with this, but with cigarettes and other things. Excuse me. So before I get started here, I would like to say that as a way of giving thanks, I would like to do a little Q&A session. So if you have a question that you would like me to answer, please leave me a comment in the comment section. Of course, where else, right? Leave me a comment and ask your question. But if you do, please note that it is for the Q&A session and not just a general question that I can answer right away or whatever, Excuse me. I had to fire up the coffee pot and prime the pump a little bit today because I don't really feel like taking a nap. So, and it was a long day at work today. But, yeah, so day 3. Well, let me first start off by addressing how the night of day 2 went. And as I mentioned before, the nighttime is generally when I find myself smoking the most. In the past, I used to smoke basically all day long, from the moment I wake up till the time I go to bed, and the last couple years, I've really tried to taper off and how do I want to say? Just not let it control my life. I mean, I love being high, and there are certain things that I love to do while I'm high, but I'm realizing, excuse me, I'm realizing that it's not beneficial for me or anybody else to be walking around 24/7 high as a fucking kite all day long. So, I'm working to be more intentional about my use, which I feel like I kind of am now. But the evening is kind of like my little time to chase the dragon, so to speak. And about 10 o'clock last night, I had this little pang of desire to go out in my garage and hit the pipe a few times. And I had to stop myself. I mean, it was like, it wasn't like overwhelmingly powerful or anything, but it was, it's like, oh wait, I'm not doing that right now. And it's like, oh well, what am I gonna do? And like anything else, you just give it a little bit of time, and that little thing passes. So yeah, that was fine and dandy. Everything was cool after that. I ended up going to sleep. I've noticed that even though this has only been a few days in, I guess at this point, I've noticed that I tend to get more tired before I go to bed rather than kind of forcing myself to go to sleep. Maybe it's just from not being gassed up or whatever, but it's kind of weird, right? It's just like, weed will make me sleepy. It doesn't matter what, if it's indica or sativa. It tends to make me sleepy when I come down. But at night, it's the opposite. At night, it's like I'm like wired up and ready to go, kind of. And anyways, so let's get to day 3. Day 3 was, it's been alright so far. The people that I work for and with, they smoke, and I will admit that the smell of them smoking before the day started definitely was a little bit of it wasn't like a trigger or anything, but it was just, you know how it is. It's like you smell that nice skunkiness wafting away with the wind, and it hits your nostrils, and it's like, oh, yeah, I would like that. But, and it's like that with cigarettes too, right? If you're a smoker or ex-smoker or whatever, sometimes it's like that too with those, where it's like, oh, what's that? Got my attention here, what's going on over here? But, yeah, I noticed that, and I wanted to say this yesterday too, but yesterday and today, my energy levels have been kind of, at least at work, when I do physical labor on a farm, an organic produce farm, and I feel like I'm not held back by this weight, this invisible weight, like I'm wearing a vest of 50 pounds or whatever. And I noticed this when I stopped smoking cigarettes too. And, weed doesn't have a hangover, but I will say that sometimes it does seem like there's like a little foggy haze that's left over, a little bit of a residue, so to speak. And generally it doesn't really affect me that much. A cup of coffee, or a pot of coffee in my case, generally takes care of that. And yeah, I don't know. But yeah, let me know if you relate to that or not. And before I sign off here, I want to ask you a question, and that is, what is your favorite thing to do when you're high? I've already told you that my favorite thing to do is to, play and create music, especially with friends. So I'm curious to know what everybody else does when they've imbibed on the old green cabbage. So, all right. Well, I want to once again say thank you to everybody that's joined me along on these last 2 journeys here. Well, the last journey and this journey. So, I once again want to thank the 200 plus people that have subscribed to this channel. Like I said, and this isn't something that I have pushed for or anything. I don't tell people to subscribe. It's not really my business. I don't have anything to sell. I'm not trying to sell you anything. It's just a way for me to hold myself accountable. And, the fact that other people are inspired to do something for themselves is, it's an added reason for me to keep going. So I want to thank you for that because, it's a little bit extra, to not only be accountable for myself, but to provide an example for other people to show, hey, that average dude is doing this and I can do it too. Well, I want to follow through with that. So I want to thank you for giving me a reason. Okay? So, alright, I rambled on again long enough, longer than needs to be. So I will catch you all tomorrow on day 4. So that'll probably be a little bit later of a upload time. But yeah, whatever. Catch y'all tomorrow. Have a good one.